People, Deluded, I'm back again. Good morning to those of you in the UK. And obviously, while I'm appreciative of all the support I get in the UK, you know, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night, depending on who you are and wherever you are in this world, people. I really appreciate the support. I really appreciate the support you lot give me, especially how Arsenal's been playing of recent, people. Like I said, please make sure you're hitting the like button. You know, I've been pressed for time. My time management skills are kind of iffy, people. So you're gonna have to forgive me, but if I quickly share the screen with you guys, please make sure you're hitting the like button to stay up to date with the live streams. We've got 3 live streams today, people. The next one will be me and my guy Matisse, you know, Smug Matisse as I call him. We're speaking about Chelsea and Arsenal, or better yet, Chelsea versus Arsenal in relation to the preview. What other content have I got for you guys, people? Obviously, live preview after that, we'll wrap up with my own sort of Chelsea preview. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. And as you lot know, there's watch-alongs galore this week as well, people. I'm going to do one for Man United, Liverpool, I think. Don't quote me. In relation to Chelsea, you know, this is why I was a minute late, or in fact 30 seconds late, because I made sure I set up the live reaction and watch-alongs and all of those sort of things. So I'm going to hit you back in. Dermot, I love you, but get your own material, mate. It doesn't quite sound the same when you do it, my guy. You know, you're going to have to find your own thing. 35 of you locked in. I appreciate you lot all. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. We're going to touch on Arsenal versus West Brom, a couple of points in a bit. We're obviously going to touch on the man behind us. I know Daniel Ek ain't there, really, you know. Hopefully he buys the club. Let's find a Stan Kroenke Arteta picture, man, just because it looks a bit better in the background, people. You know, obviously we're going to get into what he said or hasn't said or is alleged to have said or whatever, people. I like this picture, so let's take that. Sorry, people, as you lot can see, it's a Monday morning. Just thought, why not, man? There's Daniel Ek ain't really relevant to this, so let's change that up. Let me cut the screen. I don't know why I done that. Apologies, people. Let me quickly change that up and we'll get going again, people. Where is it? Add that. There you go. It's a JPEG file. So yeah, find that JPEG for me. You done know. There we go. Bish bash. Not quite bosh yet. Bish bash. Bish bash. Scroll down, man. Oh, sorry, people. I think now we have the Bush. Now, like I said, I hope everybody's well and safe. Big up, everyone. We've got a lot to get through, people, and not that much time. So it is what it is. Nathan, you're always here, man. I appreciate the support. I hope you're blessed. I'm blessed, man. I got my health. You lot are here supporting the thing. I can't complain, innit? You know, the only thing I can be stressed about in my life is Arsenal Football Club, and I can't really change that. So, you know, I have to just keep a cool mind. Jaden, I hope you're blessed. South London's back. Not a happy man. I hope you're happy to be here, but nonetheless, pick up yourself, man. I appreciate all the Twitch gang, all the long-time viewers, all the subscribers, all the members. I appreciate that. Speaking of members, you know, it's never a dull day when Danny's involved. Morning, peeps. How we all feeling? Well, probably still feeling sorry for ourselves from Thursday, but we won yesterday. Not that it means anything. Big up Sharif as well, man. Sharif, a bit better yet. Emmanuel, love my dude. Jason, morning to you. And on behalf of everyone, good morning back. I love to see you here. Con's back, you know. Mr. Adlib's in the building. Andy's here, you know. I appreciate you, like, I really do. Isaac, I hope you're good as well. Killy, Gooner, Loop has said, good morning, DJ. I'm loving the background and the lighting as well. I'm happy you say that, but my lighting's a bit off today. It's annoying me. I can't lie to you. But we keep progressing. Hey, this is one lovely smoothie. DG Smoothie soon land now. I'm playing, but like my man said, get the likes up, man, get the likes up. Luke, don't watch that, man. We're gonna get into Camavinga. I see a couple of you, you know my thing. I love Camavinga to sign. He's got a year left on his deal. His agent wants to sell him. As you lot can see, his agent's the same one as Bale. He will go to the highest bidder. I don't know what other clubs are trying to do, but I don't think we have a chance for Camavinga. We're not in Europe. Obviously, him being a young French player and that might be a little lure with the Arsenal ties, but let me get onto that a bit later, man. DG, you ever thought of having a Discord server for your fan base / community? G, it is something that you lot onto me about. It is something I'm looking into. Soon land. I know I say a lot of things soon land, but trust me, man, I never lied to you lot. Dominic, love for that, my guy, man. You know, I love to see you lot love the content, man. I appreciate that. DG with 1,000 drinks, bro. To be fair, I finished my green tea. I finished my coffee. I have got some water to the left of me, and I have got my smoothie. So allow me, my guy, allow me. Somali speakers, ain't seen you in a sec, but love to see you here. Gary the Snail, good morning, people. You lot make me so conscious of how I say that word, but I appreciate all the support. You know, while I'm appreciative and we've got the niceties in and the greetings in and all of those sort of things, people are 5 minutes in. Make sure you're hitting that like button if you haven't already. I think it's time to get into the bulk of these things, people. It's time to get into the business. Sorry why I just remove a couple of things. I don't know why that's my tasks for today. I don't quite know why that would be there for everybody to see. I'm sure nobody cares about emails I have to send and all of these sort of things. So let's remove that before we crack on. Me set a reminder because I can't remember that. I've been airing that email for time, so I need to get on that. But yeah, people, man, let's get into it now. Big up the 109 of you locked in. What are we, 6 minutes in? You know, perfect little timestamp. You know my thing. I love a timestamp, people, because I'm considerate for you guys. You know, what other YouTubers are disconsiderate? I make sure I put the timestamps in the descriptions, in the comments. I do where it is. Man said smoothie ingredients, whole bunch of stuff. Sea moss, a tiny bit of apples, a tiny bit of oranges, banana, all them berries, bare different stuff, man. Bare different stuff, man. Bare different stuff. But let's crack on, man. Now, what article should we go through first, man? Let's go through the Sky Sports one, people. Let's go through the Sky Sports one. Now, again, quick word before I scroll down in this, people. I'm sure you're all kind of tired of hearing this. And what I will say is, we need to keep the energy at this club. We need the energy to have at this football club to make changes. You know, we all know what I'm talking about. The protest, just demanding excellence, because I'm tired of buzzwords from the players, the manager, the people upstairs. Is tired in it. The doing is expensive. The doing is all fans want to see. And have you noticed whenever there's a bit of pressure on the club, or, you know, people are talking about buying the club, or people want the Kroenkes out, you know, the same old media outlets start, you know, spinning the same old stuff. You know, manager, you know, we've heard Emre, Wenger, and now Arteta. They're all going to be backed with significant signings, and we're trying to make 3 big signings that, you know, we're starting to be linked even more with certain players. You know, the BISSOUMA links are getting heavier. You know, CAMAVINGA's come out of nowhere. We start getting linked with players. We start hearing talk of war chess and all of these things available, people. Exactly, Con, you said it. You know, you see it. I didn't even see your comment, war chest. We heard it. We hear it all the time. Like I say, I'm pretty sure most Arsenal fans just shut up and do it, innit? Because, again, we're not Chelsea, and I don't want us to ever be Chelsea apart from the fact that they've won Champions League. But I never hear Roman Abramovich talking. You just see the player signed. Too much chattings, not enough doing. And again, you know, I think Arteta, one thing I haven't liked about Arteta, maybe he's fallen in line. He was a bit of a rebel when he first signed for the club, in that he wasn't out here saying, yo, Kroenkes are not giving me money, this, that, and the other. But he, for me anyways, he was saying things in smart little ways to kind of draw a reaction from the board, or indirectly tell me as a fan, like, yo, we need money. These men are not trying to give me money. And in the last couple of months and whatnot, I think he's changed. And again, he's the fall guy. I've said it before. You know, right now, the only one benefiting from this right now is Stan Kroenke and Mikel Arteta. I think Mikel Arteta is going to be a good manager. Probably not at Arsenal Football Club, because much like Gnabry, Benassi, and all these players, it just feels like we're training up another manager who's going to go off and do other things, people. Because as you lot have seen, there's no real pressure. You don't do several things in the semi-final. If there was pressure on you in May, regardless of what we say about how poor the squad is, how poorly assembled the squad is and things, we would know what the team's base DNA is. We would see fragments of what we're trying to make the team. Instead, we're no closer to knowing what Arsenal Football Club is since the day the man walked in. Yeah, there's a tiny bit of improvement defensively, a bit more fight and things, but we don't know what Arsenal are about. There's teams below us where you know what they're about. There is no consistency. So I don't think there's pressure. For Kroenke, you know, he doesn't get a manager demanding things of him. He leaves him free to his devices. For Arteta, there's no pressure. And like I said, he's had to deal with a lot of things off the field. He's had to deal with a crazy season with COVID. All these things are going to make him a better manager. But Arsenal might not be the people who see the fruits of the labour. And again, you know, you've got a manager who really, he ain't done nothing in the game to really be demanding things of the owner. And like I said, he's being given something. So it just leads to complacency. There's 148 of you locked in. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. And, you know, let's see what Mikel Arteta has said. As you lot see here, Arsenal boss desperate for signings and expects Kroenke to back him in the transfer window. Now, what does that mean? You know, because as an Arsenal fan, and I'll specify on it a bit more. One thing that scares me is Kroenke is not going to invest in this club to the scale that it's needed to be. We're not at 100 likes, people. What's all this about? Get that to 100 likes. But one thing that scares me is we're not going to invest the significant investment that we need. And also, you know, Kroenke hasn't put people in place that we can trust with the money, because as much as I think Kroenke hasn't invested in things, there's not been too many players that we've seen much consistency from. You know, let's be real. I like Lacazette. Have we seen 52 million worth of Lacazette, or even is Lacazette the player we thought we was getting? Granit Xhaka, again, he's vital to the side of sorts, which probably tells you everything about Arsenal. But what did we get for that money? Do you get it? I like Pepe. He's come into his own, but someone's got to have sanctioned 72 million pounds for that. Do you get it? And there's many different examples. It's not just the big money. It's the free transfers. Willian scored a fantastic goal yesterday, only taking him until May. Someone's got to justify that. You know, Danny Ceballos, over these 2 years, you spent a couple of £1 million on him on loan, on his loans. We've probably seen a couple of months collectively with good form. We haven't got too much bang for our buck. You could also throw in Dennis Suarez to that. Go a bit further and talk about Lucas Perez, and there's been different people, but the failures have been there. So my thing is this as well: you've got an owner who's not going to invest, and there's not an owner who's putting people in spaces where they can accurately spend this money. Transfers go wrong, everybody gets things wrong, but we don't have exit plans. We don't move players on. We don't understand what it's like. We're signing wingers. You don't know how, you know, it's like we just sign players who are having a breakout season or whatever. It sounds stupid, but we just sign good players. We don't sign players that fit the system. We don't know our system. Lo and behold, you get people like Torreira. You get mixed success with Partey and Gabriel, because there's no system, there's no DNA. Pepe as well, beyond all the things, you know, you're signing Pepe. You shouldn't have spent him 72 million on him anyways. In a real world, let's be real, it's probably a 30 million, 40 million pound man. But you signed him. There's no right back there, you know. So where's the relationships being built? You've signed Gabriel. You're still relying on David Luiz to decide if you can play him or not. You signed Leno, whether I rate Leno or not. You have not installed a proper back five, including him, 4 in front of him. Do you get it? You're signing strikers. You don't know how to play to their game. You don't tailor. You know, Aubameyang's not scoring goals, but since we signed him, we don't play to his strengths. You don't play to anybody's strengths. So it's like every player has to feel a bit of the puzzle. Partey, you haven't had a proper partner for him. You didn't sign a proper partner. Lo and behold, there's the struggles there, and you know you're seeing it. It always happens with our players. There's a bit of you know, they start shining and then they start looking rubbed again. It's a problem. It's a problem. You know, if we get rid of the owner, then the owner obviously gets people in place that can demand these things. But it's a triple whammy, I'd say. So Arteta said he expects things. Do I really trust Arteta with the finances, or say not really, because you brought in Willian? Didn't happen, did it? You know, you've got to justify Willian. Has Willian, not to make this a Willian out show, but has Willian justified not giving Pepe chances earlier, not bringing in a Reece Nelson, not playing Martinelli when he got over his injury, not doing other things, people? Let's see what happens. And this word backing and all of these things is subjective. And Arteta talks about being ruthless. You're not going to be ruthless. You're ruthless with good players. You're ruthless with players that I feel are a bit, you know, not that they'll talk back to you. They're a bit rough, and you're cool with the duds. Like you know, average. You know, again, I love Arteta, but he was an average player. Is it any coincidence he's playing his average former teammates and all of these things? You know, again, duds play duds, and I love Arteta. I like you. I like how you speak, but you know, I gotta keep it real. And you talk about ruthlessness, bro. Again, the man I've just spoken with, William. That's where you've got to start. There's no next season business, you know. We're stuck with him. But if you can give, I'd say just let William go for free. Just let him go to MLS. Get him off the wage bill, because that's been an expensive one. Yeah, he scored a fantastic goal against West Brom, a lovely free kick. It's only taken him till May. What, he's played 30 plus times and he's got 7 assists, 1 goal. You know, bulk of them assists came on the first day of the season. I can remember one against Wolves. Again, man, speak about being ruthless. Are you going to be ruthless with the right dons? I don't know, because I heard Premier League proven and all of these things. It's dead. It's dead. You know, it's dead. But as you lot can see here, people, Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta says his squad needs changing after a dismal season and insists the Kroenkes will back him in the transfer market. And it's not just for the Kroenkes. I'm not excusing them. Edu, you need to pull your finger out, because like I said a few months ago, the minute that window closed and you only brought in Partey, that work should have started for our next midfielder. I don't want to see us go out of against Villarreal in the Europa and we're like, oh, we need to get steady on, because we need to move things on. You know, we need to get players out. We need to bring players in. We need to do things quite quickly, in my humble opinion. Also, you remember we're bordering on not being involved in Europe at all. So that's less games. So you're going to need a smaller squad. And again, you know, Torreira, that's a tricky situation. Guendouzi's out for the season and whatnot. What's happening there? Joe Willock, I think all options should be on the table. Coming back, going on loan, leaving permanently. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, again, make decisions. And I've said it before, to make these decisions, you need convictions. You know, you need conviction. You need conviction. You need conviction. If you ain't got conviction in your plans, it's not going to get anywhere, people. And what I mean by that is, you see, I just said Guendouzi, Maitland-Niles, Eddie Nketiah, Torreira, you know, these guys might go elsewhere. We might look a year, 2 years and be like, raw, what happened there? What's going on there? But we need to make decisions and stand by them. It's always like, you know, somebody's out the door. They're thrown in for one game, they play well, then we're not. We need to make decisions and stand by them. And I think that only comes with clarity, and that comes with Arteta, Edu pulling their fingers out. You know, I need to see a partner for Partey. I need to see a partner for Gabriel. I need to see a backup left back. I need to see a consistent right back, you know. All of various different stature, people. 206 of you locked in. Please make sure you're hitting the like button and checking out the live chat for links for my other streams. But like I was saying, people, you look at some of these key players, you know, again, Xhaka isn't going to leave, but he's got 2 years left on his deal. Something needs to happen. You know, I'm fond of Chambers. I think Chambers can be a good squad player, but if we remove the romance, is he going to be the first choice right back? Probably not. Is he going to be the centre half in an ideal world for a team getting consistent top four football? Probably not. So I don't think Chambers needs to be moved on, but the cynic in me could say Chambers, Lacazette, and Elneny, Eddie Nketiah, they're all of the same contract length. Get these players off, you know, get these players off, install some sell-on clauses and keep it moving, people. I don't want to sell Joe Willock, for example, but if a decent bid comes in for him, and selling Joe Willock means, you know, you can grab a next centre mid who's levels and things like that, it's an issue. And again, we've known for a while we're not getting Europe. You know, it's not just the Villarreal game. We've known we're not getting Europe. You know, our eggs are all on one basket. Last year, we got Europe by the skin of our teeth. So we have to have an exit plan. Plan A, if we got Champions League, who are the targets? Plan B, if we get Europa League, who are the targets? A full exit plan. On one hand, I do think you can sign players without Europe and things like that. But let's be real. You know, you do lose that bargaining chip to potential players. You do lose finances around that. And on the best of days, we have a Champions League wage structure on a Europa League budget, not even a Conference League budget right now. It's all a Mazzolini, really. You know, being ruthless only comes with having a plan. You could sell everybody, but then what? We all know it's not Football Manager. You can't take 11 man out and bring 11 man in. We all know that the bulk of the business we need to do isn't going to be done. But at the minimum, I think you need an 8. I personally think you need another 6. I think you need a right back. I think you need a backup left back. Personally, I think you need a centre half. I think a serious club makes them 4 or 5 signings. Leave of that what you will, people. Make of that what you will. But scrolling down further, people, let's see what Mikel Arteta himself has had to say. You know, scrolling down, we know there's been a fringe of players that have left. He said, the squad needs changing. Scrolling back down again, Sky Sports do love a lot of WAS. There were already a lot of changes in December, something that has not been done in years, but it tells you where we are. Things are going to have to change and owners are going to back it up. Are going to, you mean they're going to have to back it up? We're going to have to see what's going on. You need to back up a lot of your chat Arteta as well, because I think you speak really good in the press conferences and the post games, but a lot of what you're saying doesn't match up. You know, you wanted to keep Mustafi. You wanted to give Mustafi allegedly a new deal. So what's happened there? Have they vetoed your decision? You know, what's going on there? Why didn't, if we knew that, and maybe I'm with Ozil, I'm going above it now because I don't think it's on Arteta. Why not clip Ozil in December? Why did we keep going with that? I mean, in at the start of the season, sorry, why are we doing what needs to be done in the summer, in December, in January? That just tells me we're reactive. Where we're reactive off the field, we're reactive on the field, we're reactive in all aspects. Until we are proactive in seizing this club's future, we're not going to get anywhere, people. And obviously, you know, we're not going anywhere when this man owns the club, people. So there has been a lot of changes. You do need to be ruthless. You do need a lot of changes. But again, it seems like it's a prey quest. You know, I'm a big fan of Elneny. I like how Elneny just loves the club. I like Chambers, and it's not all on them. They can be used as squad marginalized players. But people might say, listen, they've been here for a while. Let's cut them loose. You know, people might say the same with Laka. You know, there's a lot of romance. We have to not be pretty. He said, Time is catching up right now. It's a trend. It's years now that this has been happening. If the distance and the margins with the rest become too big, then it's almost impossible to do it. Bro, it is. It's impossible to do it right now because of this owner. You know, we are still on time. No, we're bloody not, because Arteta, let's be effing real. We should sit here in May and we, you know, even if we were where we are right now, if I could sit here and I say, yo, I see what you're doing. I see the DNA. I see what you're doing with these young players. I could say, all right, cool. You know, but I can't. Yeah, you're playing Smith Rowe and he's going from strength to strength. But did you really want to play Smith Rowe? I say yes, because of how you chat about, man. But you only really put him in because there was injuries and things and he's taking his chance. I'm not giving you the Saka one because Saka was here doing his thing with Emery. You know, Saliba went out on loan. You kind of messed around with him. I'll give you the blind until next season. You know, Joe Willock and Guendouzi, if they're here, I want to see what you're on. You spoke about Maitland-Niles, and I'm not saying he shouldn't have stayed or gone, but I never saw for the chat. I didn't see much. You spoke about Reece Nelson. I didn't see much. You know, I need to know, how are you going to make Gabriel into the next level centre half? Because he's, you know, he's got many little raw aspects. I need to know, while he's a bit older, how you're going to get the best out of Partey, how you're going to make Martinelli that striker, how you're going to even take Smith Rowe and Saka and these players to the next level. I haven't seen what we're doing with them young G's. You know, we've lent on experience, and these players are the ones letting man down. I don't know a single facet. I don't know what Mikel Arteta's Arsenal's about. Sometimes I see little bits and pieces, and I'm like, yo, it is what it is, you know. And a part of me likes Arteta. I like what he's doing. I like the false nine. Sometimes I see the method to a madness, but it's not enough. The variables that Mikel Arteta can control, he hasn't. On one hand, I think you give the man better players, you could do better. But on the other hand, has he necessarily earned that right? Probably not, because you're not working with the minimal tools you have available. The only thing I'll give you the excuse is when these guys make them individual mistakes or concede late goals. I don't think Arteta can do much. We're going to speak on it later, but much like that goal we conceded yesterday, that for me, I don't think Arteta can preach that. I think Arteta can show you one time why you can't do that, but then, you know, you saw it. Somebody needs to bring Pereira down. Pereira's ran from his own half. Damn, the sort of things there where you just need new players and all of those sort of things, people. Big up everyone. 266, hit the like button. So again, I haven't seen enough, you know. And he said we are still on time and we have put some very strong pillars and foundations in the last few months to do what we have to do. Fair play. That must be something us fans who are not connected with the club directly see. When asked if he backs himself as a coach, yes, and it'll be concerned if he said no. He said, we know what's been going on inside here for the last 18 months. We only know the ones that are here. How we have built that is incredible. Fuck are you talking about, brother? But anyways, people, moving on, and let's see what some other things are saying, people. This is the Daily Mail. Well, it's not the Daily Mail because that's refreshed. I had that from yesterday. But as you lot can see here, people, the scum has said Mikel Arteta begs Arsenal owners the Kroenke to spend now before it becomes impossible. I think that's the same old thing he said, people. It is, but again, the money you get available, you're not spending it well. You know, the decisions you're making about certain players, I'm not inclined to believe you know what you're doing really and truly. You know, as I was saying, there's too much question marks over, man. Bellerin's been angling for a move for how many years now? He's here. I'm seeing Bellerin, Ceballos chatting about moves, Leno chatting about moves, and they're within their rights. They're footballers, you know. But when bare man are speaking like this, you know, it's not getting. Is this a play crash thing? You know, is this a rave or is this a football club? What's going on? Yeah, people are sat Arsenal like, no, we came to the rave early, man. Can we leave, go back? Can we go to the one? You know, Cargo's is dead. Can we walk down Shoreditch High Street? I don't get the vibe. This is an effing football club, you know. I hear, even with Willian, I hear what you're saying about his training and things like that. Arteta needs the humility to understand I get things wrong. You know, you've pulled Willian from pillar to post this season. You've played him ridiculous and you got effort to show for it. Cut a man loose, you know. You're carrying people. You know, and he's in relation to the dressing room. Sorry, people, let me see if I've missed anything. In relation to us going out, he said, I saw how much they care, but how much they care in the dressing room is not what we have to see. And to be fair, I don't care about that. I always say it. I think the players care. You know, they probably put a lot more effort, but this is for you lot. All I demand of you lot is that you lot have a siege mentality. It's you lot. You lot are with the fans, but you lot are against the fans. Fans turn on, man. This is why I always say competence, confidence, consistency. Focusing on the confidence one. Fans turn on you. You know, when everything's going right, don't get big-headed. When everything's going wrong, keep yourself. And we're too volatile. Every win, these guys think they're the best in the world. Every defeat, they're down. Do you get it? You know, there needs to be a siege mentality. And fans, we should not care about how much effort in the training ground. You're footballers. That's what you're supposed to do. Nobody cares about the doctor training to be a doctor. Everyone just cares. My leg is broken. broke, doctor, fix it. You don't fix it, you're a shit doctor. Get out. You know, it's that nobody cares about the hard graphs. We just need to see what we're seeing. And again, you can tell me you care until you're blue in the face. I see 9th, 10th. I see bare goals. I see a lack of consistency, you know, a lack of clean sheets, bare negative connotations. You know, I've seen us go out in a ridiculous manner of near enough all competitions. There's been no fragment of consistency at all. So I don't really care how much they care. Show me on the football field you care, you know, make people take 3 points or take you lot's life in the football in terms of your dead bodies. You know, I don't think you lot have fight. I think you lot do. I'm of the belief actually now where I think them and they have fight, but it's not levels. It's not levels. You know, they ain't got the grit, the determination, the nastiness, the shithousery, the bastardry in them to get it. Because when times get tough, you lot are not ugly. You lot are not pretty. You lot are not savages. Like, and that's what you need to do. This thing life ain't pretty. There's beautiful moments, but this football thing is not pretty. 38 games, it's not gonna be pretty. You're going to have 10 games, 10 games where everything goes to plan. 9 times out of 10, you're going to have setbacks. There's going to be injuries. There's going to be all of these things. This is why I find it hard. I give credit and I give people a blight, but I find it hard when we're sitting there and saying we never had pre-season. We had injuries. We've had this. Brother, everybody's had that. Everybody's had that. You make excuses or you take accountability. And I'm yet to see people just say we effed up, you know. We effed up. That's all it is. You know, I don't care how much you care in the dressing room. I only see the same old handful of players caring on the football field and leaving it all in the ring, you know. He said it's how much they care when we go onto that pitch and how we put it right. We need to win the 4 games and see where that takes us. We need to see a strong reaction on Sunday. Well, there was no pressure on us on Sunday. We did what we needed to do. I'm pretty sure I'm not, you know, the most optimistic of Arsenal fan isn't too confident going into Wednesday's game at Stamford Bridge, but hopefully Thomas Tuchel allows us, people. Let's see what else Mikel has said. Results on some occasions or a lot of occasions this season haven't been what we've wanted. But come on now. First sentence, Arteta. Come on now. Come on now. Results on some occasions, brother, we're 9th. You know, look at our home form. Enough times results have gone against us more than they've gone for us. Let's be honest. I don't care about games we might have been in it and then we switched off in the last 20 or we had a slow start but then we was back into it. You can be out of a game in the first 10 minutes of a game, as you've seen. Even yesterday, is that any different from when we drew against Palace? You know, because we still gave West Brom too many chances. It was still individual bits of brilliance. It was still kind of shaky and harder than it needed to be. You know, let's be honest. You know. On a lot of occasions, we're not in the Europa League final. We're out of the FA Cup, a cup we're retaining at the first couple of hurdles of asking. We've never been in the, you know, just in the shout. So when the world of football is talking about who is getting Champions League, nobody said Arsenal. Man, I'm saying West Ham. Man, I've said Leicester. You know, Liverpool until they messed up. United have been in there. You know, it's dead. It's dead. Like, whoa, there's not. What do you mean? Some occasions, and it's this sort of. This is the mentality. Let's just call a spade, man. You know, and he said, I will defend them because they deserve to be defended by me. I hate that and I respect that as a manager. You know, that's keeping them on side. But I feel some of them need to be hung out to dry. And are you defending players who don't deserve to be defended? Because Emre, Wenger, them and they were defending them. And look where it's got them, people. Too many of these players are sadly pretenders, people. Let's see if we go further down if there's anything. Big up Tierney and Lacazette who were there as well. He said, we don't know how they're going to react. In relation to fans, they are free to raise their voices. We do our job the best we possibly can and try to engage with them. No, you don't, because they are the soul of this football club. You ripped out the soul of this football club, the soul of this sport. You've ripped out the soul of sport, in my opinion. Moving on from that, I don't think he said anything else in this article, people. So yeah, man, a lot of was in my opinion, but it is what it is, people. Again, looking at goal.com, you know, let's see what he said in this one, people. Overhaul. This is where I was getting at. 330 of you locked in. Please make sure you hit the like button. And again, lack of shots in games, lack of concentration, lack of really what Arsenal is about. These are things are on Arteta. You know, you don't need new players to show me a DNA. Because I think you need better players, but cynics will say, bro, you ain't better players. What have you done with what you've got? You know, you're the first manager that's come here. Lo and behold, Aubameyang struggling. A man that was scoring goals in his sleep for Arsenal Football Club. He's come and he's struggling. In fact, you're really struggling. You've managed to somehow be worse than Unai Emery in terms of attacking sort of play. You know, you show little bits and pieces, but maybe you're doubting yourself and you reverted back to type and all of these sort of things, people. But apparently, Mikel Arteta said that Arsenal's overhaul must be ruthless. Bro, if you get rid of Willian, I see ruthlessness. If you sell Lacazette and bring in a striker, I see ruthlessness. You don't need to just make decisions. Going away from that, he said, this is not year one. I think a project has phases, and I'm telling you, we are in a much better position today to be where we want to be very soon. We're nowhere near where we want to be very soon. I hope to God I'm wrong, but we're not, because I don't know what I'm getting in. Forget 5 and 10 games. I don't know what Arsenal is going to give me in 180 minutes of football. You know, one game you might be turned up, second game you're dead. So we're not. The mentality is poor, and for me, the real change has to be above Arteta. And you already know we have to get rid of the owner. But moving on. He said, if we do what we have to do, but we have to be ruthless. He said, sorry, people. He said, I'm telling you, we are in a much better position today to be where we want to be very soon if we do what we have to do, but we have to be ruthless. We cannot be crying and stuck on what we don't have. We have to see what we do have and maximize it to get what we want. You're not maximizing the very players you can. You know, you're overworking Saka, you've mismanaged Partey, you're leaving Gabriel hanging out to dry, you're pissing around with what we're doing at right back, you're messing around with certain players, you've retained faith in certain players that are not cut out for it. You know, again, I don't know what's going on. I really don't. But moving forward, you know, we can't cry. I agree with that. But again, it's another case for me of the word sounding great, but it's not. I'm not seeing the actions reflect it. Talk is cheap. Everyone's got that currency. You know, I want to share the pain that we are all feeling. Bro, you should be sharing the pain. The fans have been incredible with the team and incredible with me since I arrived. I have to show my appreciation first of all. I know their disappointment. We are here to give them joy, to give them moments where they can feel proud of what we do. We were able to do that last season and we haven't this season. We are the ones who have to give them something to cheer about. I don't think it's time for us to demand anything from them. You can't. You lot are a joke, man. Can't demand a damn thing from me. You know, shout out the Kroenke out brigade and whatnot. That's that in relation to that, people. What else is there? Is this the same article? This is in relation to Guendouzi. We're gonna get onto that in a second, people. We're gonna get onto all of that in a sec. What's this? So yeah, that's that bit. Let me start doing up some timestamps for you guys. So that's 31 to 32. Make sure you're hitting that like button, people. Let's carry on. Let's make another one with this. What did that article say? What did that article say, people? That's not that. He does have an arrogance about him, and I think you need to be arrogant and humble. I do think Arteta shows occasions of humility, but again, it just sounds like it's for me. If you talk the talk, you know, if you talk the talk, you've got to back it in it. And I just don't. I think he talks the talk. He don't always back it. I'm going to change all that typing in a sec, people. But as you look can see, and again, I'm not sure to believe this because I just see players backing him. But based on how we've been as a season, it's only natural. We'd all would. Any manager in any walk of life, would we not sit there and go, if I was a player, I'd sit, especially if I'm a good player like Saka, Martinelli, and the rest of those sort of guys, I'd be confused. You know, I'd be baffled with some of these tactics. Sometimes you try to reinvent the wheel. And the wickedest thing is, I like that he's on that. I like that he's on that. But it's, you know, you got to bend to your players of sorts. You know, certain men are right-footed and they're right backs. They can't even do that. So I don't want to hear them playing in other roles. Apparently, according to the Independent, there are some aspects of Arteta's coaching style that aren't going down too well at the Emirates, largely due to his tactics through also with his style and communication. It remains to be seen how safe Arteta's job is, but there could be pressure. Well, we didn't get past. So again, there was obviously going to be that. So again, let me click on this article. Well, there's no sense towards that. So it is what it is in that regards. We can delete that. That was a bit of a underkill. What else is there? So there's that, people. Quick word on Guendouzi as well. As you lot know, he's become a father. You know, shout out to him. He's got a baby girl. You know, that's gonna mature him up if many people don't think he's mature. Sadly, he's mashed up his metatarsal as well, and his season is over. As you lot can see here, people, Matteo Guendouzi's season is over after Hertha Berlin confirmed that the midfielder suffered a fractured metatarsal. As you lot can see there, he featured 24 times while on loan. He had ups and downs. You know, he got into the team towards the end. He got into the team at the start. You know, he did have a bit of a wobble where a new manager came in, he dropped him. You know, there was a lot of similar rumblings and a lot of language to describe Guendouzi's, the way he carries himself, you know, kind of how he carried himself at Arsenal, keeping there. I don't think he's set the world alight. I don't think he's shown anything, proven anything wrong in the sense of we know he's a good footballer. We know he's brave. He just needed to play games. I don't quite think he's put himself into the shop window, although he's linked with Marseille, and he is someone that will probably be moved on. Maybe a move back to his homeland would be right for his young family. I would like to see him given a chance at Arsenal. He's still only 22, but that one there is probably gone. As you lot know, the injury happened last week against Freiburg. He got injured in the 39th minute, and that's that. Scans on Friday morning confirmed the fears that Matteo Guendouzi suffered a fractured metatarsal. The midfielder got injured during Thursday's home win against SC Freiburg, and although he tried to play on, he had to come off in the 39th minute. He made 24 appearances, three assists and 2 goals. He's never been known for goals and assists. As I said here, people, he's been known as having a rebellious streak, and to be fair, we've needed man with a rebellious streak. He'll probably be sold on. The club will probably make their profit on him, but it is what it is, people. You know, it is what it is. And he's someone that he's remained committed to the club. Would love to see him get an opportunity, personally. I don't think we should rule him out, but I think personally Guendouzi's on the chopping block. And to be fair, you signed him for 8 million. If you can make a quick flip and a sell-on clause, and that can be put towards signing somebody better or signing someone that can help us shore up that midfield, I'm all for that, people. Why not? Why not? It would make sense, would it not? Away from that, let me actually put these in timeline order. We're going to get into the West Brom and post-match and transfers. We've got a little bits and pieces to carry on with, people, but I've been airing you lot in the chat for a while. Please make sure you're hitting that like button, people. Please make sure you're hitting that like button. Obviously, please make sure you're checking out my content for in the next few days. Let me put the link to the watch along here, people. Yeah, man, like we've got a couple of things to get through, man. Let me show you lot some love. But just before I do that, people, you know, we've been here 36 minutes. You know, a quick message from the sponsor. Oh, we're not gonna get him if I click that. No, we're not. Here we go. Big up, everyone. You know, if you want to look at that, please make sure you check out the link I've sent into the live chat or the description. God knows when we're going to win another trophy. So why not buy yourself an FA Cup 3D poster of when we won it in 2020? Moving away from that, Richie has said, morning, GG. Respect the hustle, G. I appreciate that. Do you think the players will be able to play better week in, week out since there's no Europe? Bro, the way you've put it, the way I believe, you would have to say yes because you're playing once a week and stuff. And I know it's not quite the same, but forgive me if I'm wrong. There's been times, you know, where we thingy, you know, we've had to play once a week and we've messed it up. So I'd say yes, but I don't have much faith, man, really and truly, man. I don't have much faith, man. I really don't. So I'd leave that, I'll make of that what you will, man. Genuinely got it wrong with Arteta. Those 2 legs were rock bottom football tactics. Trust me, you know. You'd have to ask the club why we sent people on loan. We'd have to, man. Players are also a big issue. Facts, but still, man. I wouldn't say he loves the Kroenkes. I think he's between a rock and a hard place, but it is what it is. Tony has said, we're in a better position. What a load of waffle. Maybe internally we are, but again, to the fans, to the untrained eye, to us that should be able to just not have to try and find intricate little dealings about the club, probably are, man. We're probably not, sorry. We're not gonna see significant investment. I hope to God, but I say we're not because I haven't got too much expectation based on what I've been seeing. You know, at 178 likes, people, come, let's try and get that to 200. Big up yourself, John Wayne. I would keep Laka over, but I personally wouldn't. You know, we're in May. Laka's having the season of his life, according to some Arsenal fans. He's got 17 goals. Aubameyang is having the worst season of his Arsenal career. He's gone 15 in all comps. So make of that what you will. I think Aubameyang is good enough to win us, you know, to get us top 4 leading the line by himself because he gets 20 league goals and he needs to be helped. Lacazette isn't that. You know, and I like Laka. I think Laka's a good for the squad, but I can't rely on him like that. But asking players who are definitely leaving to carry us to a Europe final, they're not all in it like others. To be fair to you, I don't think because somebody's leaving, they don't care and they don't want to get into a final, but it is what it is. I wouldn't say the mentality of the players is the biggest issue. For me, Kroenke, the man right there, is the biggest issue. And then it's them. no, in fact, then it's the practices of who's bringing in these players, and then it's that, in my humble opinion. Look how bad our signings is, but I think people are putting too much blame on Kroenke. You can speak for yourself. I don't think we're putting enough because everything is down to him. Of course, he never signed Pepe, he never signed Laka, he never signed Xhaka, but he's sanctioning this. You know, every action this football club makes is a reflection of the owner. You know, come on now. Like, he needs to go. You know, even if he leaves, it's not going to change anything. But just having somebody with a certified, you know, a certified sort of way of doing things, we'd be there, man. Man said, I don't trust you or Eddie with money in the summer. To be fair, you know, I ain't done nothing, broski. Like, I don't make no things, but fair play. Allegri isn't coming. So that is what it is. Shout out to all the Kenyans in the chat. Big up yourself, Paul. Big up all the international Gooners. Foundations made of cheese strings, bro. Foundations built on the sand. When you're beating West Brom and these things, and yeah, we can sit here and say we shouldn't have let the Pereira goal happen. We had the shaky 10, 15 minutes. It gets, you know, it's cool. That's on the sand. The sun's still shining. It's only when we go out against Villarreal or we have these embarrassing results, people want to analyze how bad it is. And we're coming from an Arsenal fan base who, when we was winning 22 games or something under Emery, and I try to tell man certain things, they didn't want to listen. Arsenal fans love to be lied to. It's only now when you see us ninth and stuff, people are here to say Kroenke out and things. Other than that, you're called negative. You're said, why are you doing that and things like that. It's mad, man. Actually mad. Bro, Aubameyang might be finished, but you know, if we're not bringing in another striker, who am I going to bet on to score the more goals? A man that's barely done it, as much as I like Lacazette or Aubameyang. And even if Aubameyang's on his decline, he is declining as a footballer. But as long as he can still get me goals, I think he might be declining. Naturally is, but I still think he can grab me goals. I think a lot of it is what's happened to him this season. And I think a lot of it is down to Arteta because he looks not motivated. But you know, I'm going to stick with a man that's pulled this football club, you know, on his own a couple of times. He's had one shoddy season. And, you know, Lacazette, not to make it about both of them, because they're both not really levels right now. One's having the season of their lives. Do you get it? So it tells you everything. It tells you the expectations of Lacazette. It tells you the expectations placed on Aubameyang. But let's forget about that, because really and truly, in the grand scheme of things, I think our strike force or our attackers, excluding the 10, is the least of our worries. We have no foundations. No foundations. Guendouzi and Willock would be better in your midfield. Yeah, not together, but hear that. You know, I think the Wolves should be out. There's not a single player. If it's not Saka, Martinelli, and people Tierney, I don't really care if they stay or go, man. No pressure, FC. Here we go again. Facts, man. Bro, I wouldn't say Aubameyang isn't motivated, but that's cool, you know. And a lot of people saying sell Aubameyang. Do you really think we're going to bring in a centre half, a right back, a left back, and then have to spend a significant sum on a striker? Because you're going to have to replace them goals historically. You're going to need someone that gets instant. So fair play. If you got a plan, get a plan. But enough about that. I'm not answering no more questions about Laka and Aubameyang because bigger problems than them. You know, I've got all the energy and all the smoke for people bigger than them at this football club, man. Man said, get Kane. You're living in a dream world. You know, you don't complain about Sainsbury's to a shelf stack or a cashier. You blame the owner, Kroenke out. Facts, man. Facts. And this is it. You know, they're going to tell us that money's going to be spent, this, that, and the third, you know, and then we're going to get into the summer, bro. We're still going to be holding our hands, and there's going to be euphoria on the last day of the season. You've signed Part A and you ain't done the other things in terms of ingoings and outgoings. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely mad. I don't believe the Camavinga links at all, but I'd love to be wrong, man. He's a player I love, but yo, Real Madrid are on you. All of these things are on you, you know. And is it going to improve in that regards? You know, I don't know. I'll leave you lot to that one, man. You lot are smarter than me in that regards, man. I'm just a man with an opinion, you know. Some of you are tactical experts, and the rest of it based on some of the comments I'm seeing right now. So you lot are the ones that are going to have to tell me, man. But I believe Arteta is extremely naive or a liar, you know. He's either naive or he's lying, people. It's as simple as that. And I say that because I've got some notes that I want to show you guys very quickly, just making a timestamp. Let me scroll up so it makes sense. First thing I want to say, people, is if you do trust the process, or and I have, it's only now people have smoke for Arteta. He was afforded a lot of luxuries, and I've said it many times. I don't want it to come across like I'm attacking him. I'm just asking questions of everything, same way the owner and the players. But it just felt like when we win, Arteta propaganda. We lose, you can't ask a damn question of him, where the truth is in the middle. You can't praise a man for succeeding with bad players, and then when something's shaky, and I've said it before, trust in any process does not mean a free ride to nonsense people. To not do nonsense, I should have said, but to not, to do nonsense. It doesn't mean I'm going to sit here when you're doing false nines in semi-finals and say, I trust you. I don't trust you for no reason. Trust is earned, and I hope the club take heed, because our summer just got harder. If there's no Europe, there's less money. Even if KSC inject money, you're still going to have to work miracles. The wages are already imbalanced, and now even more, you're going to have to make decisions. Surely you're going to need a smaller squad for this year, whether that means young players going out alone or selling people, because you might not be playing in Europe. Like I said, the lack of Europe instantly means there's 6 group stage games not being played. Yes, there's still FA Cup, Carling Cup. Well, it's only that, really. That's about it, And for me, I'm looking at the club now, people. I don't think, I think the problems go above Arteta, because you look at Chelsea, you look at Everton. There's been examples where you look at Decore and Kai Havertz. There's been players that the managers haven't signed. They've still been able to use them. They've still got a tune out of them. And we need to install an ethos, whether we have new managers, a new owner, new board members. There should still be a certain player we're looking at. And it's like I said earlier, it's like we're not signing good players or players that fit a DNA. We're just signing good players, and they have mixed successes and things like that. We need to be able, this is why Kroenke needs to go, because we need to be able to trust those who identify players, and they need to have a clear mandate and a clear DNA as to what we want. In the summer, find a partner for Gabriel, a partner for Partey and some depth, a partner for right back, especially an attacking, defend first, but a right back who can go forward. Again, these are the sort of things, Arteta can have a say in these transfers, but we need things above him, really and truly, you have to, I'm also saying, do all you can to bring in who he wants, because again, if you're going to double down on him, the club should, surround him with experience, surround him with the players, so that we can sit here and say, go. If it's working, cool. If it's not, you need to go. Because while we're sitting there and saying Arteta out, we still have to sit there and say Kroenke this, do that, this guy that, and the third people. Like I said, our summer just got harder. We need to have faith in the people, their people. And for me, I say you either back him or sack him. And I say that rightly or wrongly, whether you believe in Arteta or not, you can't do this half in, half out thing. If I was an owner of any company and I've taken in someone who is an apprentice, I'm going to surround them with experience. I'm going to surround them, maybe buddy them up with someone that's more experienced than they can ever dream of being, always having appraisals and things. What do you think you're doing well? What are you not doing? I don't think, Arteta's criticizing the players and critiquing them. Who's sitting there and saying, how do you think Europa League went? How do you think the Prem's going? What do you think you done well and wrong? You need to stop doing this and that. Pressure is a privilege. And for me, I say back him or sack him, because whether you believe in Arteta or not, we're doing this half in or half out thing. If you back him, surround him with what I've said, bring in players, what can man say? Come out the club, You're half backing him, man. Stop backing him in the papers and back him in there. Double down on your manager, or not at all, really, because I'm tired of hearing things. Do not back him because it appears there's no progress. In my opinion, again, for me, it only seems that we're backing him in the papers, really. Does anyone ask him how he feels, considering he's out of his depth? That's one thing I give him as well. Same way, who's asking Saka how he feels mentally? That young man, he probably needs to get a rest. You only appear to back him. I only see bullish and statements of intent in the papers. I ain't seen it in the window, really and truly, people. And for me, on Arteta, he's either a liar or naive, because did he think this team was levels? I understand you have to give faith to players. I understand when you're a manager and fans are getting on to other people, you can have faith and you believe in them different, car. You're training them week in, week out. You're part of it with them. But did you believe these man are levels? If you believe these man are consistent levels, then that says it all, innit? Did you believe they're good enough to get top 4? Honestly, did you believe they're good enough to win any of these things? Honestly, because I think you did. And on the other hand, I think it don't. Because when I see the consistent chopping and changing, that's not belief to me. There's not been any clarity. Yes, there's been injuries and things, but even when these things haven't been a factor, we've still seen inconsistencies. For me, do you trust Arteta or the board's ability to spend the money accurately? Because you didn't spend money on him directly, but we was told William was an Arteta signing, you know. And for me, the game and man management from Arteta. Again, I got this info before we played yesterday, but we're sitting ninth, people. We have had 7 home defeats, you know. In our last 5 games before that game, we had 5 games, 2 draws, 3 losses, you know. We had no clean sheet in the last now 10 home games in all comps, people. Apparently, this is what other be, you know, we failed to score in 10 home games this season, and our home form's been poor, you know. Arteta can blame these poor bunch of players, but at the same time, some of these groundbreaking statistics are down to you, people. So for me, he's either naive or lying. They need to back him, you know. They need to be ruthless. And again, like I said, the summer just got harder, so it's put up or shut up time, really, you know. It's put up or shut up. Too much lip service, too much free chattings, you know. It's put up or firmly shut up for everybody at this football club, in my humble opinion, people. In my opinion. What is this now? We can delete that. 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 That was talk from Big Up Arsenic, because apparently the man who broke the party news, he said that the club are trying to, you know, Dan Kroenke said he's not selling, and they're doubling down on what they're doing at this football club, people. Away from that, what's going on there? Ooh. Sorry, people. Make sure you're all here for, you know, 2 p.m. I go again live with my guy Matisse. We'll be speaking about Chelsea. We'll be covering some other Arsenal stuff as well. Obviously, live preview at 4 p.m. I think this is scheduled for as well. All UK time, of course. Make sure you're all there. I should really have the watch along for you guys, people. Make sure you're all there on Wednesday. Cracking on away from all of that, though, we might as well get into the tactical review, or we're never going to do it. I don't need this because this is not that. You know, what's the time on the clock? 50 minutes. Let's go 50 to the tactical review time, people. Now, let me scroll up and find my notes before we carry on with it, people. I think when you look at the game, not that you can learn too much against West Bromwich Albion, it's nice to win. You know, also nice to see Smith Rowe and William get their first Premier League goals. More nicer for Smith Rowe than William. Better late than never. It was a fantastic effort. For me, the first goal was a great move. You know, 2 of the only players who don't just stand and watch things, they actually move. You know, Saka and Smith Rowe, they showed it. Shout out to William and Ceballos, and actually Gabriel. They played a key part in the first goal. You know, the second goal, it comes from us trying to play out from the back. Shout out to Ceballos. He wins the ball, gives it to Chambers. Chambers passes it to Pepe and simply overlaps. Must be nice having a fullback who simply overlaps and takes runners with him, rather than someone that goes inside and is a bit cowardly, you know. Martinelli was isolated up front and was always going to lose that battle against 2 physical centre-halves in Bartley and Ajayi. I think it was a good experience, because you can't speak about a man playing up front and not give him chances there. So there was that. West Bromwich Albion's goal summed us up. And really, while it was nice to win, still elements why our season has been where it is, people. Because like you saw, you know, slow 5, 10, 15-minute sort of thing at the start. You know, we presented West Bromwich Albion with more chances than we should have. You know, they struggled to score, but we presented them with half chances, really and truly. And the goal that we conceded summed us up as a football club. Simple as that. You know, you look at our first goal, it's a good move, people. William actually starts it here, but just obviously because I can't do nothing in real time with you guys, people, it's as simple as that. Let's just make a blue guy keeper. If you look, remember, in the build up to it, Saka's actually here, and it's Saka's movement. If you look closely, these lot switch. You know, these lot switch. So then by that time, Williams palmed it in. Now, obviously, in real time, well, you'd be offside, but in real time, people are here. Now, I think it was Semi Ajayi and Yakuslu, people. By the time Williams, you know, good bit of play initially from these two, Saka's made that run. You know, when Saka's there, it's a scary sight. He's had a look up. These 2 centre-halves have been completely unaware. They've played Smith Rowe and he scored. But again, movement, because Smith Rowe actually started it on the left and Saka was out there. Smith Rowe's actually played a back pass in the move to this, and he simply just come inside, continued his run. Saka's off the balls made a run as well. 2 of the only players who move on this football team. Can we be surprised a goal happened? Must be nice if there's consistent movement. In fact, Callum Chambers as well. That's the theme. Chambers simply making a run led to the second goal. Now, we was caught trying to play out from the back. Ceballos had a decent game watching it again, to be fair with you. Ceballos has won it back after Smith Rowe almost lost it in our half. He's played it to Chambers. Chambers has just kept it basic and played Pepe in. Chambers has made that run. You know, just for making that run, he's given Townsend, who had a good game against Pepe. Both the winger and fullback had a good game. He's giving him that split second. Do I go to Pepe? Do I drop? What go on for my teammates? In that split second, Pepe's allowed to come inside, and obviously not to scale people. Pepe's unleashed a rocket into the goal, people. But once again, you know, it's lovely having a fullback or makeshift fullback that fucking overlaps people. Bellerin goes inside. This is why half the time Pepe's having to receive it on the halfway line, people, and there's no good on that because they'll just double up on him. The winger will do that. The left back will be there. You know, let me bring in some midfielders. He'll run into a crowded space. Must be lovely. So shout out to Chambers for that, people. The goal we conceded sums us up as a football club because we got caught high up the field. You know, I think Townsend's actually won the ball back. He's had a good game. He's played Pereira. Now we're all in no man's land at this point in time. You know, Chambers has to do a lot better because he's completely undone as well in the build-up, and you need to watch the goal again for it to do it justice. Robson Carnew's played a blinder, and he's, you know, it's actually, I'm not going to do it, but in the build-up, Robson Carnew's experience run, it makes Chambers look at him. Chambers looks at him holding 6s and 7s, and it gives Pereira a couple of seconds. So we didn't read it, you know. As I said earlier, Ceballos couldn't catch a cold, didn't it? Like, he done well to actually be involved in the first two, but he's in no man's land. Elneny's in no man's land. Chambers is in no man's land. Tierney's nowhere to be seen. Where is the rest of the other team? We've been completely broken, you know. Holding and Gabriel are just backing up and backing up and backing up. Gabriel the same. We're inviting Pereira. It's a fantastic goal. It's their first shot on target. Pereira just dribbled through, backing up, not to scale, but you also eventually banged it, and Leno probably could have done a lot better. Leno's beaten too easily for me, but I'm not really blaming Leno because while I think he can hold a count, bro, how has a man gone from his own half? And this is the difference, you know. Other man, bring him down. Stop the seek. That's where somebody needs to read it and say, I need to take him out. I need to stop that passage of play. We don't make tactical fouls like that. And this is ultimately why we're naive. This is ultimately why Arsenal Football Club's in the position we're at. You know, positives, we won. You know, positives, Willian and Smith Rowe scored. Saka looked good. You know, it is what it is in that regards. There isn't too many positives you can draw. We won. You know, faint hopes of trying to scumbag a place in Europe are still alive, but you know, it is what it is in that regard. Same old. And, you know, we beat a team that's already down. It's always lovely to beat a Sam Allardyce team. He called us relegation rivals. But look at that. We're happy to be smug and say he said Arsenal are relegation rivals, which at the time we were because we're bottom. We're around them sort of table places. You know, we're happy to kind of throw it in his face. It's nonsense. Absolute nonsense. But it's not down for the fans to know any better. It's down for the club. So that's all there is from a tactical point of view for me personally, people. If we get into some of the transfer news as well, please make sure you're hitting the like button. We need to get into some of the transfer news. Because I said I promised we'd do that, and I'll be doing you lot dirty if we didn't. Transfer news again. Can't read too much into transfer stuff, people, in my humble opinion, because it is what it is. Now, the first one, let's say Bellerin leaving. As you can see here, Sports Witness. Player ready to leave Arsenal. Club have strong interest. Fear Gunners' demands will be excessive. Bellerin has only made 2 league appearances since Arsenal suffered defeat at the hands of Man City February the 21st. And again, that's another one who's vice captain, who retains the faith of Arteta. It is what it is. You know, he's 26 years of age. You know, I actually like Bellerin. You know, I like how he speaks off the field. But again, bro, we're not here for off the field. We're here to be a football club. We ain't seen too much from Bellerin. He might go to Italy, and I think you need to go to Italy, Inter Milan and Juventus, 2 names there, and learn how to be a defender. We might look back and say, wow, why did we sell him? But it's like a relationship that isn't working. You know, how many times have a man and woman been together and they're not happy together, but then, you know, that woman's life becomes amazing, that male's life becomes amazing. Without each other, they go off and have other relationships. That's where Arsenal are at. This is a toxic relationship, and I wish Bellerin the best. You've played for this club, you've won FA Cup, you've indirectly come out the academy via Barcelona. Like I said, I like the way you speak with integrity. I like how you're not afraid to actually be yourself. You know, people talk about dress sense and, you know, all these things that have nothing to do with it. But for me, you're just not consistent. You know, you're another one of these hot and cold players. And we've been, you know, 26 years of age. You're not 16. And, you know, all of these right backs that are the best in the Prem or spoken about as such, where were they? You know, where was Pereira? Where was James Justin? Where was Wan-Bissaka? Where was Trent? Where was Lamptey? Where was Reece James? Like, couple what James Justin, if I haven't said him, there's bare other names that were, you know, floated about and things. They've all lapped you. You know, you're not in the conversation really. Nobody really rates your thing. You know, if PSG want you, especially after how Florenzi was playing, then take goal, man. You know, you could do that's better than being here. And we need a right back who wants to overlap. You know, a centre midfielder / centre half is a better right back than you. In fact, Maitland Niles also another centre mid / left back or whatever. Apparently, Juventus and Inter Milan are interested in the 26-year-old, and there were contacts with the two Serie A sides in recent weeks. However, talks have not yet led to concrete negotiations. He has once again ended up on the radar of PSG because they started to have doubts about Florenzi. It's claimed PSG have strong interest in Mikel Arteta's man, and this was reiterated during contact that took place between the Liga side via intermediaries. I can't even say that word, but the middlemen most likely representing the Gunners fullback. So again, middlemen are trying to get Bellerin a move, or we're trying to angle him a move. Either way, I'm all for that. You know, I don't even think I'll bite your hand off for 15 million, but if you can get 20, 30 for Bellerin, just because PSG have money, it'd be great. But that's that in relation to Bellerin. All this transfer business is starting to awake now, people, because of what not people. Now, we've been linked with Bissouma. We've seen a lot of rumours. Bissouma's going to pick us over City, this, that, and the other. But apparently, Arsenal tipped to snub Bissouma and signed their own Jordan Henderson for £35 million. Well, that's a bit of an underkill, people, because Kevin Campbell, I got love for you, but he said we should go for Sander Berge, a player we've also allegedly wanted, a person who apparently Sky Sports have said his release clause is much lower than initially reported. And obviously, we've got a coach on our staff that's been involved with him in the past. What's all of that? Apologies, people. I don't know what that was. That kind of made me jump. But as you lot can see here, Bissouma's been linked with Liverpool and Arsenal. For me, you join Liverpool out of them two teams. And also in that regards, apparently Klopp is doing his personal checks on the player. It all depends what happens with Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and obviously Gigi Wijnaldum. But apparently, you know, obviously when he's crossed paths with Gabriel and Pepe, the French ties historically, maybe these are things that could get us, people. I don't think we're going to get him. Apparently, Arsenal are in pole position to sign Bissouma, with the club chief seem to be confident of securing his signature. Bro, how confident you can be as a football club, I don't know, people. We'll have to see. Apparently, we've been linked with CAMAVINGA as well, who I would also want. But again, I would want CAMAVINGA ahead of Bissouma, but I don't think we're going to ever get him, people. As you lot can see here, apparently Liverpool and Arsenal on red alert after Bissouma requests Brighton exit this summer, with Jurgen Klopp having researched his character to determine if he can replace Wijnaldum, people. So we'll have to see what happens in that regards. We've also been linked with CAMAVINGA. I'd love to see if there's any official sort of reports, because we have been touching on that. Bro, you can identify what you want. You know, I've said I want CAMAVINGA. He's one of the best 18-year-olds around. He's still got a lot of development to be done and needs to be given that scope. Maybe that's why he shouldn't probably go Madrid yet. But he seems hell-bent on leaving Rennes. Hopefully he does sign, use us as a middle step, but I don't think we have a snowballs. But apparently Arsenal have reportedly made Eduardo Camavinga their priority target and are working hard behind the scenes to sign the sought-after Rennes midfielder. We all know he became the youngest debutant in the few years that have followed that. At 16, at 18, he's a French international. He's playing quite well. I think he's not quite been amazing this season, but he's done his thing. Very good technically, very good technical level of skill. You know, got a lovely left foot. Lot of development to be done. He can go hot and cold. But, you know, what do you expect for an 18-year-old? He's got it all, people. Reports claim Arsenal have placed the highly rated France international at the top of their wish list, and a major operation is in the pipeline. You know, major operation, significant investment, backing the manager, all this bullish talk because there's pressure on the guy. You're going to have to spend money. Yes, Rennes are in a weak negotiating position because they could potentially lose someone for free, which I'm sure they don't. But we're going to be at the back of the queue. The only thing that gives us hope is that, you know, if you join the Madrids and these sort of things, are you ready mentally? Because it's not just about football. You've got to be different with it. As you've seen, people that are in their prime, the Eden Hazards and many names have struggled. That's the only thing that benefits us. You know, he could probably end up at Spurs based on their super agent, Jonathan Barnett. You know, what helps us is that he said that Camavinga is leaving. You know, there's going to be a lot of interest. He's drawing up his client. You know, if you can give him a platform, then I guess you could always sell him a project, but he's not going to come cheap. You know, that's 43 million allegedly, people. You know, maybe you could get a bit lower than that. And I'm sure not just Arsenal, but the teams he probably goes to, the Madrids and things like that, they won't accept that. So, because Rennes don't have a negotiating position, maybe even just over half would be enough. But are we going to do that without speaking about a number 6 and things? I don't know. I would love him to sign for the club. I badly hope this is the case, people. Absolute baller. Absolute baller. He said here, it makes you feel flattered that it's nice that teams like Real Madrid or Bayern Munich are interested in your situation when neither of them, even PSG should look for him. I'm not going to lie, but I've not yet decided with my family what I will do. And I've told you he's had a bit of a meaty season. He said, I've had an average season. Maybe psychologically he's not there. Maybe he's been found out. Maybe it's a lot of them things. But he said, I've had an average season. There's been a lot of lows and I've not at all done what I've needed to do. Aside from that, I've had to learn from that rebound. We have to be realistic. I know that I've not only produced good matches, I know that I have an enormous number of things to improve, and I'm not going to hide behind my age. There are things that happen, and exactly elite mentality from the young man. But I don't think we're signing you, rude boy. I would love to, again, with no Europe, it makes it harder. But allegedly, based on Football London, Hossam Aouar's transfer stance revealed after Lyon president gives Arsenal hope of summer switch. Sorry, people. CAMAVINGA. Make of that what you will, folks, man. Let's go back into this. As you lot can see here, another one who's had a decent year in my opinion, but it's been a bit up and down. Apparently Hossam Aouar has a long list of potential suitors who would welcome him if he should he leave his current side, Lyon. No need to leave Lyon right now, is there? We're not in Europe. I'm sure you're gonna, I'm sure Pogba, Camavinga, Jadon Sancho, Haaland, Mbappe. I think these sort of clubs, these are the biggest names they're trying to grab, in my opinion, and then whatever happens shall happen. Apparently, Fabrizio Romano says he's revealed that Arsenal remain convinced Aouar is still the right man to solve their creativity issues, not just him in isolation. We need creativity in abundance. Apparently, according to L'Equipe, are reporting that Aouar himself is opening to leave in Lyon, thus once again opening the door for Mikel Arteta and Edu to personally swoop in. As you lot know, we face the prospect of no European football, which probably will affect our finances. However, if they can muscle up the fund, Lyon president Aulas has appeared to have already opened the door for a possible exit for Aouar in the summer. The departure of Aouar is not a wish of Lyon ahead of the weekend. If he wishes to leave, we will try to accompany him as we have done for many years. Okay, I think that was a bit of a clickbait, because there's no thingy in relation to that. What's going on here? We're gonna have to do up Google Translate. Where's the arrow business? Sorry, people, but we're gonna have to do the good old Google Translate for this one. Again, I apologize to my French viewers. I don't speak French, so if Google is lying, I apologize for that. But let's see what it says here. The case of Aouar. The departure of Hossam is not a wish of Lyon. If he wishes to leave, we will try to accompany him as we have done for many years. Afterwards, if the offers do not correspond to what we want, he will stay in Lyon and we will be very happy. So you don't pay the money, he's not going nowhere. It's as simple as that, people, really and truly, can't pay, we'll take him away sort of business. And much like life, obviously there'll be a bit of a discount, in my opinion, due to COVID and things like that. It is what it is in that regards, people. It really is. Like I said, please make sure you're at the next sort of content from me, people. I've got me and Matisse in the building after this. If I can, what's going on? It's not allowing me to send you the link. Here we go, folks. Obviously, preview at 5. Let me get the watch along link for you lot. What are you lot saying in the comments? Let me take in a bit of what you guys are saying as well while I find the link for the watch along. Apologies, people. Oh, sorry. If you're wondering why I always do that, people, it's because the way I have my laptop and the monitor, just because I like it, you can't see the other corner, and it's not really helpful. So yeah, like you can see again, there's a problem. Big up the 408 of you locked in. Please make sure you're hitting that like button, people. I'm going to take in what you guys are saying in a sec. Let me just find this for you guys. Oh, too much bits in this movie, man. There we go. View on YouTube. Wednesday's watch along business, people. So make sure you're there. Nobody's bothered to hit the like button yet. All the effort I do for you guys, what's all of that about, people? What's all that about, man? Let's pattern that up. But have you seen our midfield? Of course, Camavinga is good. He's young, so again, we're gonna need to give a man time. We're gonna need to smash the like button, like Will has said, man. Shabitsa would be a great addition. Very adaptable and things. I genuinely think I would take Bissouma instead, unless Camavinga would cost only like 40, bro. If they're the same amount of money, I'm taking Camavinga personally. Shout out the Twitch gang. Big up yourself, RP. I appreciate you, my brother. I find myself chuckling too many times when watching Bellerin play. No pace, no skill, not there anymore. Think he should stick to modeling. That's a bit harsh, but I don't think it's fair to get onto him about modeling, but you know, it is what it is. Cheers for the upgrade. No worries, my dude. Bro, Bellerin needs to work on hell of a stuff, man. Ceballos was on a yellow. If not, he would have taken him out. Get rid of Arsenal and bring back Coventry City. Not quite sure. You got to get promoted, man. Ace Boogie, shout out to you. Just started a new job. I'm late here on the lunch break. Big up DG and everyone in the chat. Congratulations on your new job, my dude. Congratulations, man. It is all BS in my opinion, man. You know, you're linking us with a French player with our historical French ties. I would love him. You know, I would love him. But it's not going to happen, man. And like Dave is saying here, man, his PR starts to deflect the real problems. Trust me, KSC and his novice puppets need to go. Facts. And fans will lap it up. Remember when they twanged us, man, are saying we're going to Monaco to get Mbappe and all those sort of things, 100 and something million, when that could do something for you, war chest and all of that sort of stuff, man. You know, is what it is. Really is what it is. Crazy. If we're gonna sign someone, I think we should sign Papa. Is it Papa Sarr of Mets? Another young G, but he's gonna cost significantly less. I wouldn't mind Zachariah. I don't think you need to bring in both Bissouma and Zachariah, one or the other, and go for a more expansive midfielder personally, because you'd have Partey and either Bissouma or Zachariah, man. Could you fill a squad with 11 with players you want to keep? Probably not. Probably not. Right, probably not. Like players, because I think it's weird for me anyways. I think there's players I want to sell. I think there's players I don't really rate, and I wouldn't quite say they're of the level of Saka and that, but I think there's some use to them, and there's players I just don't think are levels. Now, players that I feel, or better yet, universally agreed that we can move forward with: Tierney, Gabriel, Partey, Bukayo Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli. Pardon me, I might be missing one man out. You know, if I said Tierney, I'm not too sure. Now, they're the ones that I think, no matter what, you're in my plans. Now, players that I'm looking a bit side eyes, but I think you can work with them. They definitely could have a place in this squad and definitely be part of a team that can at least challenge a bit more convincingly for top four. I think Pepe, you know me, I'm not the biggest fan of Leno, but I think there's bigger problems than Leno. Aubameyang, historically, because of what he gives you in terms of goals, you know, it's cool. I think you can use Xhaka in the squad role. They're them sort of man there on that level. Do you get it? But I'd say the names I said at the start, man. Yo, Martinez can be better than both them keepers. Martinez, with respect, James, Martinez is irrelevant now. Like, we need to sign a keeper. We're not going back over Martinez. To be fair to you, as much as I think Martinez is better than Leno and all of these things, nobody talks about when Martinez does shaky things. You look at that goal, was it Greenwood scored yesterday? You know, if that's Leno, I think he could have done a lot better. You know, I would love to Tonali, but them man there seem like they're staying in Italy. I wouldn't mind Kessié, good player. For me, Will, in relation to Joe Willock, all options are on the table, like I said at the start. For me, he's had a good loan spell. I don't think he's a bad player, but would he be, you know, he's a rotation man. So I wouldn't rule out him playing for us. I wouldn't rule out selling him. I wouldn't rule out him going out alone. Really, I only want to sell him if you're going to get that 20, 30 million. And if you're going to take that 30 million and slap that towards Bissouma, you know, we've been linked with Camavinga, but Camavinga, if it could happen, you know, we're not getting AUOAR, but AUOAR. If you could do that, then I call that a necessary evil, innit? If you can do that and be serious, you know, Locatelli, like Essa said in the chat as well, them sort of man there, but it isn't going to happen, you know? It really isn't. For me, I haven't learned too much about Joe. I know he's box to box and he scored goals. I still don't know if you can play in a low block. That's the problem. We need his legs and stuff, but, you know, we need gear with the idea, you know? Running around, there's only about 5-6 games a season where there's space to run around and things like that. I like Joe, but all options are on the table. I don't think people should be writing him off, but all options should be on the table. And for Joe Willock, because if we're real, in the ideal world, your game time, I wouldn't say minimal, but you'd probably be fourth choice centre mid. Maybe work, maybe more, without seeing something, man. Bro, Joe Willock's ceiling can be high. You're allowed that, but you know, I don't think it's quite high. I think he could be a competent player for us. Can definitely be a Premier League player. You know, I definitely think he has got a knack for scoring goals. But do I think he's gonna be an England regular and do what I think Jude Bellingham and them sort of man are gonna do? Undoubtedly not. I think Joe Willock has real potential. I think he can be honed upon. But it is what it is. You know, even Joe, off the last couple of games, he's been on the bench. Why has he been on the bench? He's had a great loan spell, though. I like Joe. I do think people write a man off too easily, man. I don't think he's got shades of Ramsey about him. He just gets up. I mean, in terms of being box to box, 100%. I don't even think we need world-class players. We need competent players. And Arsenal are not able to go out there and grab them sort of world-class players, my broski. But fair play. I like Sarr of Watford, but I'd leave that. You know, I'd leave that. Depends what you mean build around them, you know. Not everybody, there's nothing wrong with it. Some man could be squad players, you know. If you're a squad player, that doesn't mean you build around them. Like, you don't build around Joe Willock, in my opinion. You don't. Like, he can be a competent squad player, and there's nothing wrong with that. People underestimate and the need for a 25-man squad. You know, Joe can be a good squad player. A couple other Haaland boys can. You know, then you've got the Sackers and Smith Rowes, who are household names and all of that. I 100% would rather give Joe Willock a chance over Elneny, but what's the difference there? Joe wants to play games. Elneny is cool to sit on the bench and be used. That's why man are gone out on loan. You know, Joe is better than Smith Rowe. Don't quite think so, but you're allowed your opinion. Bro, I wanted Ruiz when he was at Villarreal, but them ones there is gone, innit? I don't rate Matty Cash. I stand by that. And so no. Personally. We just need a different Arsenal squad, broski. 100. Majority of these men need to go still. 100%. New squad, new gaffer, new owner. But that's probably deluded, in my opinion, thinking that is going to happen, people. So it is what it is in that regards, man. It is what it is. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Is there anything else Arsenal related? No, there's not. And sorry, people. Wait, sorry. I just had a brain fart. See Ruiz. I told you he's at Villarreal. He weren't. So Batiste on, but I'm sure he made his debut against Villarreal. That's why I'm always attached to it. There's a next man at Villarreal that we need to buy as well, man. There was a stage where Villarreal had a couple ballers there with Ruiz and things like that, and we just don't take chances on these, man. There's been players, man, whether it's Kante, Bissouma, there's these guys, you've got to go for them before it's a madness, man. DG, don't you think the link-up play is better with Laka on the field? Yeah, of course, because that's Laka's strengths. You know, Laka gets the Lacazette with the Haaland boys. He does his thing. That's Laka's strength, link-up play and all that sort of stuff. You know, that's him. You know, 100%. But again, man need to score goals, man. What's a realistic signing that would excite you for next season? AUOAR, Buendia. Again, what's realistic? Because I don't know how much money is going to be invested. We're out of Europe, so what? Buendia, AUOAR. But I'd be very excited if we signed CAMAVINGA. But if we just signed the right back, just to know there's an option there, I would love that. Thoughts on Overmars? Would you take him to build our squad? That's someone you need, yeah. But again, you know, as long as Kroenke is gonna give him everything he needs, bro. My man was trying his best to package up Hakim Ziyech and give him to Arsenal. No one was trying to hear that. Obviously, Hakim Ziyech ain't set the Premier League alight, but we could have done a lot for him. Wish we could merge Laka and Aubameyang into one striker, 100%, man. Big up yourself, G Med. I hope you're doing decent. I would love Grealish, but that's 80 million, 100 million, maybe at best. Let's say a 70 with COVID discount. We're not doing that. So while I would love it, that's a man where you've probably had to move for. You have to move for them sort of man there years ago. Or if you're in Arsenal's position, it's a myth, people. We're at 308 likes. There's 467 of you in here. I'm appreciative of it, but man, I have to hit the like button. What's all of that about, people? What are you lot dealing with? Get your questions in. Bro, if they want him, take him, man. Take him, man. Take him, man. Big up the Twitch gang. I appreciate you lot out there, man. I know there's never many of you, but I appreciate that. Never forget you guys. Is what it is. I rate ZH. Wish we could have got him. Trust me, man. Trust me. For me, I've got no expectations. Aaron's or Lamptey. I'm more of a Lamptey fan. I'm more of a Lamptey fan still, but I rate Max Aarons. I still think there's a lot he needs to work on, but what do you expect from an early 20-year-old right back? The only, you know, Lamptey has some things to work on, but the major thing with him is injuries, you know. Partey's never injured at Atletico. We bring my man in, he's picking up knocks. So again, it kind of scares me that if you sign Lamptey, and I might be being a bit harsh because he's had these injuries I've only really seen at Brighton, but injury records, Arsenal. Is it a case of like Kieran Tierney where you're one of the best in our team, you're certified when you're there, but you get it when you're not fit, there's a problem? I don't know, man. I don't know. Bro, you're right, bro. Spurs almost bagged him. Remember, he was on joining Spurs as well, you know. He was on it. He was begging Villa to let him go. And this is it. To be fair, I think if you put the money down, you know, I think if you sell the project in the right way, Europe isn't really a thing like that. But you're right. You know, Hassan, he's not signing for us. And I think it's because there's no Europe, not because he can't play in that. The bands, you know, the bands. Bro, I've said we're not getting Camavinga, Jason, so I'm not too sure what you're on about. So, yeah, man. Well, Saliba does need to be... Where is it? Sorry, bro. Saliba does need to be given a chance next year. But again, he's a young guy. This is why I say we need that bridge centre-half. We need to blood Gabriel and Saliba for the majority. But there's going to be games. One's out of form. The other's not. We need that other centre-half to come in, whether that's Marie or, for me, a new guy. You know, if somebody that is right-footed... I want a left-sided centre-half. But someone who's right-footed that can play on the left like David Luiz is the best solution because he can play with Gabriel and Saliba. You know? My bro, how many of your players can get into other top 4 teams? I don't know. That's another question. But, you know, I think Martinelli, Tierney, regardless of his form, I think they will get roles in squads. I think Partey, Tierney, Saka, Martinelli. That's about it, man. About 3, 4, 5 at max. I don't know because I don't know who our squad is, man. Would you take Torreira and Guendouzi back? I'd take Guendouzi back. I wouldn't let Torreira come back personally. You know, Torreira's the guy. You know, I'm a big Torreira fan. You can check the videos. You know, I wanted him before he signed for Arsenal, but away from what's happened recently in his personal life, you know, I've had to question your commitment. And when you've got Torreira on the books, you've got Bellerin, you've got Leno, you've got Ceballos, you've got however many. If you don't want to be here, you need to keep it moving, man. It's absolutely mad. This is it, but they're going to need their hands held because sometimes when you're poor, when you're in form, like even with Greenwood, you know, Saka, you know, sometimes these young players, they've gone through a really tough patch and a bad patch. And for Saka, I feel upset because we haven't been able to take him out. United, Oli took Greenwood out. Now Greenwood is back. You know, that's going to happen with Gabriel. It's probably happened already. That's going to happen with Saliba. So you need that, you know, you need that other option. So if you could go him and Marie, if you wanted to drop them both or either or, you know, because we've got to remember, as great as they are, you lot have been watching Saliba. Well, I hope you have, or you've been watching my loan reports at St. Etienne and at Rennes. He's had some great moments. But he gets caught flat-footed a lot from set pieces. That's something he needs to improve at. You've seen what Gabriel's done. They're going to make mistakes. So they need, and it's about me. It's about the facilities, man. You need to give them that. What role does Bellerin play next season? I don't have a clue, man. You know, I don't have a clue. I would like to see him get game time, but I don't know what we're doing with Aubameyang and Lacazette. Obviously, there's no Europa League there, so I'd imagine he's in and around the first team. Good word on Saliba, DG, having some nice nice matches. He's got the ability, but he's still raw. He's getting close to Premier League quality, but not yet, despite everyone calling for him to step in. Bro, fans are mad, you know. He will step in and show his quality. It's like man saying, start Miguel Aziz week in, week out. And when he looks shaken out of his depth, man are going to say he's overrated. DG, just looking over the table, if we win our remaining games and come 7th, we would have a place in Europa. Think that's Arteta's plan? Bro, that's a very reactive plan. And that's all you can do, really. It's a shambles of a season, but you've got Europe. I don't think that's his plan. The plan should have been retaining the FA Cup or having a convincing effort at that, winning the Europa League, or at least getting to the final, or leaving that competition with some credibility, you know, pushing for top 4 via the domestic place. Remember, the league starts in August and ends in May. That's the plans for me. But what do I know, man? Just a man with a young opinion here, man. 7th is Conference League. Dead. Big up Joe from Cyprus. I like Kamara from Marseille. I would pass, though. I would pass. Oh, he's mentally, you know, mentally, you have to, so obviously, injuries are a thing, but I keep saying it, mentally for Saka, man. When has he had time to just deep everything that's happening on him? Like, there's too much placed on his shoulders. He's gone from the academy to everybody knows you out the street. Everybody knows that you're the guy for Arsenal. Teammates always looking at you. You know, you're being played and played and played. God knows what would have happened if he didn't even play yesterday. And I don't even think he should have played yesterday because the man needs a rest. You know, we're going to run my man into the ground. It's crazy, man. You'd have to ask Kiddo Taylor Hart or his agent what's happening. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't have a clue, man. I like the centre-half Botman, but I'd pass. Need to see a bit more personally. So, yeah, people. I can't lie. I'm going to be back at 2 p.m, people. Just under an hour. So, I'm going to get out of here now. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. Please make sure you're here at the next preview and whatnot. Like I said, I've already dropped the stuff in there, people, and I'll drop it again. The link's there again. Obviously, you know, just before I get out of here, I'm going to leave you with a message from the sponsors. So, yeah, people, man, big up the sponsors. And, yeah, I'm going to see you lot in a bit, man. And, yeah, man, keep your opinions flowing. We've got a lot to speak about with Matisse. We're going to touch on anything that's generally happened in the Premier League as well. So, I'll catch you lot in a bit, man. People, deluded.